back, everyone. Listen up. This is going to be very interesting and pretty cool. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show in just a little bit here. My next guest has never been on with me before. I have with me Allen Hersh, and he is the owner of the Dumpster Compactors. Welcome to the show. You got to tell everybody when I say that. You got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Thanks, Carol, for having me on the show. So the Dumpster Compactors, we do something brand new in the waste removal industry. We actually launched this in Arizona within the last couple of months. And like the name implies, we actually compact the waste within dumpsters, specifically the big roll-off dumpsters that you're likely to see on construction sites or at big warehouses.
It's amazing, and you do both residential and commercial, mostly commercial, but you said even residential.
That's right. So if a contractor is doing a project at somebody's house, maybe a major remodel or even building a new house in a residential area, oftentimes you'll see the big roll-off dumpsters there, and we can certainly help them as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about how it saves people money, and the main thing is I want to tell them how it works because it's pretty cool. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, essentially, we save the users of these roll-off dumpsters money by reducing the amount of times that they have them hauled. Oftentimes, the dumpster looks like it's full, and in fact, it is full from a capacity standpoint, but there's a lot of air in the dumpster. And by just applying our compactor drum, which weighs about 3 tons, we're able to compact it down. You'll hear me talk about something called a compaction ratio. Some types of waste has a very high compaction ratio, like take cardboard boxes, for example. You could have a roll-off dumpster full of cardboard and even some wood and pallets, and we can typically compact that down anywhere from 70 to 80%.
Wow.
Yeah, so you think you might have to haul that dumpster once a week, and maybe really it's only once or twice a month after you incorporate compaction into the process.
Residential and commercial, what kind of business would use it? Let's talk about that. And also a home that would use your services.
Yeah, we actually have a very broad range of customers from an industry perspective. We do a lot in the construction field where they have temporary dumpsters, where you'll see big commercial buildings going up, or just tenant improvements where they're maybe not erecting a new structure. We also have what we call our brick and mortar customers, which are established businesses that are in the same place all the time. Like, let's say a warehouse or a manufacturing plant, and they have a couple of different dumpsters, and they're filling them up regularly, having them hauled, several times a week. They call on us so that they can reduce that haul frequency. And
you even said that, let's say somebody is a hoarder, right?
Yes.
And well, there are a lot of people like that. Unfortunately, it's a situation that they have, but you can also help them as well. That's where, let's say the residential was to someone that owns a home wanted to use your services.
That's right. So it's funny that you bring that up, because we do work with a couple of different companies that do hoarder cleanup, and they're the ones that actually contract with us.
Right.
So they think that they might be able to get by with just one dumpster, and as they get into the project, they realize, like, wow, we're going to have to order a second dumpster, and we think we're only going to be able to fill it up 25% or 50%, yet we have to pay for this entire dumpster. So we've been able to save these hoarder cleanup companies a lot of money because they can now fit it all into one dumpster.
Now, your phone number is 888, so toll free 888-227-9892, and the website is thedumpstercompactors.com. And they do both residential and commercial. Basically anywhere they have a roll-off dumpster on their place. You work valley-wide, and you do something that is a free demonstration, and I want to talk about that because you said it's amazing. The proof is in what you see, correct?
That's right. And your last guest had talked about a saying that if something sounds too good to be true, oftentimes it is. And the savings that we describe to companies that they're going to realize through using our service is around 20 to 50%. And all you have to do is call us, and we'll come and compact instead of you hauling that dumpster. And it elicits that kind of reaction. Well, this sounds too good to be true. So in addition to doing a free demonstration, we actually provide 30 days of free service to prove out the savings, because we want people to be absolutely convinced. Oftentimes, we're approaching somebody who manages the warehouse or a superintendent at a job site, and they don't want to recommend something to their employer that ends up costing money in the end. Our mission statement, you can read it on our website, is simple, and it's to save our customers as much money as possible on waste removal. And if they're not saving, we're not doing our job. So we want them to be absolutely convinced, and that's why we offer the free trial.
I have to ask this just because I'm thinking for everybody else too. When somebody does compact their trash like this, is it also better for the environment too?
Absolutely, and that question kind of delves into the history of this compactor truck. I did not invent the compactor truck. They've been around only in Europe for about the past 20 years, and I think that has to do with the landfill capacity constraint that they have there, and they wanted the waste to go in pre-compacted. But it has this extra benefit of saving the end user a lot of money. And we actually have a lot of clients that are very, very proud of their zero landfill policy or their recycling initiatives, and they can quote off to me what percentage of their waste has been recycled. So even absent the benefit of being able to save money, we have customers that love using the service simply because it's reducing their environmental footprint.
Sure, and when they use your service, how often do they do it? Is it once a month? I mean, obviously it's going to be different for everybody, but what's typical?
Well, you answered the question when you said it's different for everybody. So let's take, we have some customers that only have one dumpster that they empty a couple times a month. We have customers that have 15 dumpsters on one site that empty each one once a week. So it's highly variable. It really can kind of depend on the industry they're in. And even in construction, depending on the phase of the construction project, it can really impact how often they're having that dumpster hauled.
That number is toll-free 888-227-9892. They work valley-wide, and they'll do you do a free demonstration. They want you to see this. They want, because the seeing it is in believing.
That's absolutely right.
Now, they work valley-wide as well. Again, both residential and commercial. Anywhere there is a roll-off dumpster. You talk about like improving safety. How does it do that?
Well, I say this from personal experience. I used to run shipping and receiving at a 300,000 square foot warehouse, and we used to generate a lot of trash, and we had a couple of roll-off dumpsters. And the number one cause of my workers' comp claims for the team that I managed, and I had 44 people in my department at one point, was guys injuring themselves in that dumpster, trying to make more room, cutting themselves on a nail sticking out of a pallet, or twisting an ankle, or extending a knee. And no matter how many times I would tell them, don't go in the dumpster to try to make more room. So when companies know, and a team knows that we're going to be there and we're going to compact, it curbs them from wanting to step foot in the dumpster and trying to rearrange stuff to make more room.
Okay, so when you come and you do this, how long does it take to compact a trash bin like that?
It usually takes us about 5 minutes. I actually had a couple really stubborn ones yesterday that they each took me 10 minutes, but usually it's about 5 minutes.
So it's only about 5 minutes, but instead of having that hauled away, you're going to save the money because you're going to need a second bin to come in, right?
Yeah.
And basically you're saving yourself money. And I want to say, let's say when I go back to residential too, because business, I understand, a lot of people have a lot of stuff, but a lot of people have a lot of stuff in their homes too. Mm-hmm. So mostly when they're doing construction on it, talk about that person.
Yeah, so typically if ever we're doing a project in a residential area, it's a cleanup company or a restoration company. So we work with a lot of restoration companies who, a house catches fire or there's water damage and they have to clear out all the drywall or the cabinetry. And so they're the ones that are typically contracting for us.
So the way I see this is this. Here you're listening to this, you hear it, and you got to tell, let's say you are having that issue. You might even be working with or know somebody that is. Tell them about this. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I kind of stumbled across the idea. I'm not the person who invented doing this, but I came across the gentleman who has the exclusive distribution rights in the U.S. for this truck.
And you're the only one?
I'm the first one.
The first one?
I'm the
Here
first.
in Arizona?
Nationwide that he sold one of these compactor trucks
Wow.
to. There's another one that he operates himself in D.C., and I have people calling me from all over the country that see my website, and they want to start a business like this in their community. They want to see the businesses in their community shrink their environmental footprint and save money too.
Exactly. I think that's what it's all about. And today, doesn't everybody, right?
That's right.
I also wanted to talk about your website because I know you do free demonstrations. Do you have a video on your website about how it does that, or do you talk about it there?
We sure do. We have a video of a compaction. It was about a 5-minute video, but we sped it up to 30 seconds so that people can get the idea without having to.
But have them come to your place and have them do it right there. They do these free demonstrations because they want you to see it. You also said that again that you offer that free 30-day trial. Was it that? Tell them what you said.
Yes, exactly. And because we want to be actually able to prove out the savings, number one, and number two, we want to get a feel for what your trash profile is, how often you're currently hauling, what we can reduce it down to, and we want to be able to compute for you on our savings estimator how much you're going to be saving by doing this. So
go ahead.
So within the first 30 days, we offer up to 4 free compactions. We've determined that that's plenty for us to get a really good idea of how much you're spending and what type of trash you have. And it makes us confident enough to say you're going to save X or Y.
Okay, have you ever thought that I'd be saying something like this? Know your trash profile. And learn how to save money with them. That number is toll-free, 888-227-9892. It's the dumpstercompactors.com.